I hate to do this, guys, but after searching every roster, we're gonna have to hold on to Anze Kopitar. We just don't have a choice. There isn't a single person that we can acquire that's going to be a real difference maker. Like we could get somebody that's like an 86 overall, someone like Bjorkstrand, but they're just not delivering in point totals. That it's not worth it. We are just so stuck in this series right now. And I don't think I expected it to be this difficult, but unfortunately, a lot of the great players that are being drafted are Canadian and from the States. Go figure, right? But I've seen in other series that we've done here, there have been some great guys from like Ukraine before, or at least half decent. Better than, say, I don't know. I mean, we've gotten a bit lucky with McIntyre and Welch, but these are like the two best guys we've drafted. Nobody else has really been close. So it's tough to say on what we should do, but I wish it was tough to say on what we should do. We only have one choice, and that is to move forward. We are going to sim this entire episode. I'll give you guys intermittent looks at how the team is doing because, again, there aren't really any trades we can make. So we're going to the deadline. This will probably be a quicker episode. I'll make sure people get, proper starts, and of course I'll have to deal with injuries and all that stuff. But we'll see if this team's a playoff team. If not, then we fucking pray that there is a player, preferably a defenseman, that we can trade Kopitar for to be able to pick that guy in the draft. So I'm not going to waste any more time here. I'm going to get to the sim, and I'll show you guys how this team is doing at the All-Star break. Somehow, some way, despite what felt like nearly weekly injuries, we're a playoff team. 22-17 and 6. It is a wild card spot, but the Minnesota Wild are hanging around, and honestly, I wish we weren't. I wish that we were just absolutely terrible. We are currently on 50 points right now. The Vancouver Canucks, the other team, at 53. 6 points back of the Dallas Stars with the game at hand. So I'm not quite sure what to make of this season. As I said, the closer we finish to that number one overall pick, the better, because an Anze Kopitar could be used to, essentially get us another pick. I'm not even sure what our draft pick situation is looking like right now because I gambled a lot of those early first round picks away and hoping that we would get these great players that would be in our lineups now. But of course, guys like Welch and McIntyre aren't having the greatest of seasons. Our top six is doing very well, but definitely hoping for more out of guys like Sexton, who's up to an 82, McIntyre, and Welch. And of course, defensively, things are looking okay. I mean, Fontana and Burmistrov are doing all right, and obviously the overalls continue to go up. Roman Yossi's not doing too bad. I looked at these well out of order. And the goaltending, Anderson's actually up to an 87 with only a 913 save percentage, but I definitely blame the defense for that. Merzlikins has played 10 games, has won 5 of them, and has a 902. Down in the AHL, we're getting some decent development from a couple of these guys, but obviously there's nobody that's really going to jump into the lineup anytime soon. I mean, they might. Someone like Fukalski might finally make it. And Ruchin is up to a 76. He has played all but 2 games. Yuri Sharov, though, has still gone up an overall point because of that. Basically, I don't know what to expect for the rest of the season. Of course, I'll be going to April 1st in the next sim just to get us to that point. I mean, trade deadline is pretty much useless to us, and we don't even have a first-round pick in the upcoming draft, so it is a guarantee that Kopitar is going after this season for hopefully a first. Hopefully we can do a straight swap there at the very least. We have some decent supplemental draft picks, but then we really start to get in trouble. 2023, we have a first, no second. 2024, we have a first, and then 2025, no, we still have a first. We don't have our first in 2026 or 2027. So it's gonna take some work and a lot of luck from the draft. This certainly hasn't been how I thought the series would go thus far, but we could very well be a playoff team, and we will see if that happens. As I said, we are simming down the line to April 1st, where we will live sim the last 4 games, and we will see if the Minnesota Wild are yet again a playoff team. There are some times where this sim engine just absolutely puzzles you, and right now is one of those times. We have a 45, 25, and 8 record, and we have clinched a playoff spot, and could, despite with only 4 games left, potentially win the division title. I do believe. I don't know. I have to check. But right now, there have been some major injuries. We're 5 points back of the Blues, so we're probably not winning the division. But unless we really shit the bed here, we have the second place spot and home ice advantage against Dallas, most likely, in the next round. Now, I'll show you guys what's going on, because a lot has gone on. In February, well, actually, really, we'll just look back from January. Kind of, a slow start after the All-Star break. We get 4 straight wins as we enter this month. 2 straight losses. We beat Montreal. We lose St. Louis. 2 wins, a loss, a win, a loss. And then this winning streak: Chicago, Dallas, Boston, New Jersey, Carolina, Columbus, St. Louis, Anaheim, LA, Edmonton, Vancouver, Dallas, a shootout loss to Toronto, who are amazing, and then Detroit, Montreal, we lose to Philly, and then that loss to Philly was major, because we lost Anze Kopitar, who has previously returned, but we also lost Nino Niederreiter until late May. He is out for a very long time, most likely the entire postseason run. And Igor Burmistrov's currently out. He should be back relatively quick. But we just lost Nino Niederreiter for most likely the rest of the season, unless we have a very deep playoff run. So it's bittersweet that we went on that great of a stretch. Burmistrov's back in 5 days. Niederreiter's out for 7 days. So, I mean, it was great to see this team go on that stretch. Of course, yes, I still wanted to kind of compete for the number 1 overall pick instead. But, I mean, great to see this team compete. But at the end of it, we get those injuries that are really, really going to hurt our playoff chances. But let's see what happens here. You know what? I'll just sim the next 4 games, and we'll see how this pans out. Although once Burmistrov's back, I'll just go best lines. It's not even going to matter. I'll take, I think, Fukalski out of the lineup. We are up to 56 wins on the season, and then Mueller goes down until July. I can't make this shit up, guys. I cannot make these injuries up. We'll go best lines. That'll put Fukalski in. But, my God, Mueller's out. That's it. Like, he's gone. July. The season ends in June. We're without Nino Niederreiter for a month. And then Frederick Anderson fucking breaks his hand, or injures his hand. Thank God. He's only out for a little bit of time. But I genuinely, like, I could put up the raw file of this, which would be like 45 minutes. You guys would be shocked over the amount of injuries, I think. It's been at least 2 dozen. Like, that's pretty much the entire... Like, right now, the raw file, I'm looking at it right now, is 38 minutes. Which isn't too bad of a recording time, really. But at least 75% of it has been spent in this menu right here, just going for, calling people up, sending people down. That's all it's been. It's been torturous to see this team have success and then lose it because of injuries. At the very least, this injury will get Yuri Sharov a start or 2 down in Iowa. It's not looking like the Iowa Wild are going to be making the playoffs. I'll show you some of the decent amount of progression that's happened down in Iowa. The season's over. We finished with 47 wins, 27 losses, and 8 losses in overtime. We do have home ice advantage over Dallas in the first round, which is pretty solid. We only got that because of the overtime losses, but I will take it. I am not expecting too much here against the Stars, but we will see what happens. And actually, I'll show you guys Stat Central really quick, and that way I'll show you the point totals, and then that way you can see the games played. And keep in mind, even one missed game played, they might only have missed 1, come back, and then have gotten injured again. It's just been such a pain in the ass. Kopitar, though, once again our leading scorer, and what will have to be his last season here, one way or another. Nikolai Ehlers, his best season yet with 69 points. I always botch that name. Nino Niederreiter, 68 points. Probably would have been our leading scorer without the injury. Draisaitl had a good year. Sprong had a good year. McIntyre and Welch stuck in the 30s. That's pretty disappointing. Russell Sexton, though, up to an 83 at 20 years old, so things are looking promising. But then you get down here, you got a game for Semin, 3 for Fakovsky, 3 for Riat, 15 for Volchenkov, that's how many times I had to call him up, and 8 for Denisov. So a decent season. Again, second place in the division. That is great. But are we going to get manhandled in the playoffs is the question. You see the save percentage for the goalies, the amount of games played. Even Craig Aruchin had some starts due to injury, and of course he is with the team right now. I don't know what to expect as we play the Stars in the next round. We will sim a day or two just to make that official, and that will happen right now. So home ice advantage. Is it even really a rivalry? Thank God Frederik Andersen's back. Is it a rivalry between the North, the former North Stars, now the Stars, and Minnesota? I don't even know. But we'll get this lineup set. I doubt Mikhail Denisov will start. We'll probably send him down and get Damian Riat in there. We're going to have to send Ruchin down as well. So we'll get the lineup set, but you guys have seen the point totals, and of course I'll show you the lineup before the next game. Andy Caffrey, though, up to a 76. Savage, a 77. Caffrey, shit, the season ended, so you can't see the points. Let's go take a look at the points. Screw it. I am pretty sure this won't be the longest episode to begin with, but again, that's kind of the challenge of this series, the limited number of trade options that we have, the fact that right after the draft I go out and pretty much acquire everybody that we need, and those guys all happen to be prospects anyway. But let's see, Matheson was our leading scorer. He's up to a 72. Savage, a 77. David, a 73. So like I said, some decent progression from the team this year. Gerber as well is up to a 79. I'm really hoping he gets a big boost before the start of the next season and can really make an impact with the team moving forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. Again, we're just waiting for either that success or waiting to just get eliminated so that we can go through the draft again and hopefully get that one elite player, particularly that defenseman, that will change this team for the better. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Again, kind of formulaic, I know, but doing our best to keep this series going, trying to find success in it as we go along. In the next episode, of course, is our first round matchup against the Dallas Stars. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one.